Hello, niche website builders. How's everybody?
Hello. Boiling hot here in the UK still. It's good.
I know it's very warm, isn't it? It's awesome.
Yeah, it's lovely.
I don't know. I don't get a feel for how hot it is with my aircon on here. You know, I just go out every now and then. It feels hot.
Living in another world, you are.
In the US, it's just normal, isn't it? But it feels posh in the UK.
Yeah, it does.
It's just a normal standard aircon unit that I got fitted. But yeah, that's good. It's good. So, yeah, how's your week been? It's been a busy week, isn't it?
Yeah, there's been lots of exciting things going on internally this week, and then lots of things where I'm like, oh my god, this week is dragging. How is it only Thursday? But yeah, there's obviously more good and bad stuff, and we are potentially looking at some new services, which is really exciting. That's the exciting part. Like, I've been delving into that, and I can't switch my brain off from thinking about it now. And that's probably making the other bits of the week feel a little bit like, whoa, because all I want to do is do the new exciting shiny object stuff, which is true across all life, right?
No, we got I mean, lots of exciting things to come on the horizon over the next few months for the second half of this year, really. From niche website builders, we're super excited about what we've got coming up. We're not going to announce anything yet, but we're super excited about some of the things we've got planned. I guess the bad things, what you're saying, I guess it's not really bad things. It's just that we're just busy, it's just been hectic, right? So,
yeah, and then speaking to Doug and Alex yesterday, who set their own time schedules. They don't have, they obviously have a business run, but it's just them or and a team of freelancers or whatever. It's different for us. This is like a job for us, isn't it? Still. Oh, I think Mark is entertaining the children there for 1 second. They must have come into the room unannounced. I thought this was going to be like the BBC News guy then. You're like the guy with a kid running through the background.
No, it was. They do. Yeah, it's a bit different on a live stream. Sometimes they turn up on a Zoom, but it's the summer holidays, isn't it? So the kids are off. They just do what they want, and they was about to all come legging it in half naked, from running around in the garden. So it's like, okay, it's not going to happen. So sorry, I had to really quickly go up there before they were literally beside me. It was all about to happen. So
nice.
That was good. Anyway, So I guess lots of stuff coming. I guess is what we were saying before I got interrupted and completely lost where we were. But thanks for everyone for turning up. We've got Daniel here, we've got Carly, we've got Brian, Tim, Dimitri, Sam so far, and a few more. I have not spoken yet, just voyeuristically watching. So I guess we could talk about. Well, let's do the housekeeping. That's completely thrown me with everything that's going on. Let's do a bit of housekeeping. So the housekeeping is, if you're new around here, don't forget to like or subscribe to the channel. The more people get signed up, the more exciting the streams are. So we're at 2.84K at the moment. So heading towards our 3K. My little counter it does a meow every 10 people that join. It does a meow.
Does it meow? You set that to meow.
Yeah. It's all got all sorts of weird things. We just want to do something that wasn't too annoying. Well, a meow's it's just a meow. It's quite a sweet meow. It does a little meow. I did a meow today. So
what does it sound like, Mark? Give us an impression of what it sounds like.
Meow. Like
that. Nice.
When I first set it up, the first couple of times I did it, I was like, what's that? Is there a cat? I completely forgot that I'd said it. And I was like, okay, now I remember. Just set it up when I set it up. But please like and subscribe. We're trying to grow the channel and hopefully providing some value along the way. The other thing worth mentioning is not that. Oh yeah, we could mention that. We'll mention that. That's at the end. But if you want to see the latest deals we've got at Niche Website Builders, head over to the description on the YouTube channel and check that out, and you'll be able to find the latest deals and offers for our services and products. Building Empires is an event that we run biannually. We ran the first one in June, which went really well, was really popular, had lots of great speakers about how to make money online and how to build profitable online properties. So you haven't checked that out already, you can still check out the replays. So head over to building.empires.live to check that out. You can also register for our future event at the start of next year, January, February next year, for which we're going to have, it's going to be bigger and better. So sign up for that as well at building.empires.live. If we get enough people who like the show today, then we'll do a giveaway at the end. T-shirt, merch, hat, or mugs. You choose. Got the lot. Yeah, please like the episode, and we'll do. Hopefully, we can do a draw at the end of the show. Right, that's housekeeping. Should we move on to the meat of the show?
Main event.
Yeah. So today, what we're going to talk about is using Link Whisper for internal linking. I'm sure we could have come up with a more catchy title than that. Now come to think of it, but it is what it says on the tin. So this is the first website investing show actually for a few weeks. Like we missed the last two just for various reasons, personal reasons. Not that we were ill or anything. It was just stuff going on in our lives that meant we had to miss them out. But a couple prior to that, the episode we did prior to that, we did an episode on internal linking, why it's important, why you shouldn't forget about it, and yeah, so yeah, check that episode out. That goes into like full details of like why it's important. I'll cover that. I'll reiterate some of the points again at the start of this episode today, and then we're also going to. So we launched a service on the back of talking about that internal linking and why it's important. It was like the last piece of the puzzle that we felt that we don't. That's a really, really important that we don't help our customers with or content publishers with. We want to be the agency that you can come to and get everything done pretty much hands off, and you don't have to touch it. And like internal linking was the one thing that was kind of sorely missing that we just still hadn't done and figured out how to deliver as a service. We've got it now. So today we're going to talk about how we do internal linking with Link Whisper, and specifically, how we deliver the service. So as usual, like we're not holding anything back. We're going to kind of share with you exactly how we go about it. So if you want to, you can do it yourself. It's linked with well. Let me jump into the presentation before I kind of go and speak about it all. But yeah, anything to add, Adam, before I crack on?
No, just that even people who do this for a living forget about internal linking, as we'll find out. Mark's going to use one of my own sites as an example, and there was a ton of internal linking that needed to be done. It's a site that I'm not actively working on, but could definitely do with this kind of service. I just didn't have didn't do it. So yeah, even people who are doing this day in, day out kind of forget about internal linking sometimes. And unless it's at the front of your mind, like a service like this could really help you save some time and effort and energy.
Well, it's slow, boring and laborious, isn't it, as well? So
yeah,
that's kind of why. And I've covered that a bit again, which is kind of what I spoke about last time a little bit as well. So internal linking using Link Whisper, and I put making a laborious task more bearable, because it kind of does. It's definitely not much better than it was. Still not the most exciting exercise in the world. I can't seem to get that arrows working. There you go. Do it over there. So just to cover off, so I went into great detail about internal linking a few weeks back, why it's important, but I just wanted to summarize that again at the start of this episode in case you missed it, before we go on and talk about using this Link Whisper to kind of get the results that we want to. So what is internal linking? That is linking from one page or resource on your site to another page or resource on the same site. Internal linking gives you a level of control over where to send humans and Google when they visit your site. Oh, a typo there. I didn't notice that the first time around. So one of the ways that Google is able to index your site is that it will go to a page, it will look at all of the internal links, and it will head off to those pages and find its way around the site using the internal links. If you don't have many internal links, in fact, if you have orphan pages, which are pages that don't have any internal links, it makes it significantly more difficult for Google to index your site. Now, that only really becomes a problem if you've got a really large site, but it's still something that's kind of worth considering. An internal link can have a similar effect to a backlink, but you are in control, essentially. So obviously external links, people are linking to you. you're out of control, but you can also once you're doing internal linking, you're in complete control of that, and we'll see why that's important. So why is internal linking overlooked? This is what we was just talking about. So it's essential. It's like absolutely essential. It's something that you should not be missing off, and it can be a game changer for a site. If you haven't ever done any link build, internal linking, and then you go about doing some internal linking one day, don't be too surprised to see an increase in traffic. Results vary. Sometimes I've seen, you've seen examples of massive gains from doing internal linking. Sometimes not so much. So it varies from site to site, but it's still something that you shouldn't overlook. Again, we'll come to that. Why? We'll come to why in a sec. So why is it overlooked? I mean, to a newbie, it doesn't seem like something that's that important, right? Like I'm just going to keep publishing content. I'm going to keep doing that. But internal links, it just seems like an extra that's kind of needless and pointless. But it is so essential and so important. And again, I'll come on to some of the points why. Why else? Because it's boring, right? Like there's this guy here doing internal linking in the picture, and he's had enough. He's listed with it. That's before Link Whisper, right?
That was me. That's me.
That's you. So it's easy to forget when it's boring, right? And hard, and time it's not hard. It's just time.
Accidentally on purpose forget, right?
Yeah. So it's never top of your list, is it? Like doing something like internal linking. It's not glamorous. So it's time consuming, can be laborious and boring, just easy to forget. So why internal linking? So it passes link equity around the site. So if you get a link from an external source into your website, and then from that page, you then internally link to another page, some of the SEO value, some of the link juice, some of the link equity is passed from that page to other pages around your site. And that really helps all of the SEO value you get from external links flow around your site. So passing link equity is like one of the biggest things why you want to consider doing internal linking. You want to avoid having orphan pages, as I mentioned, because it's for two reasons. One, if you have an orphan page, then you're not getting any link juice passed to or link equity passed to that page because from other pages, because there is no internal link to it. So it's not going to get the benefit of other external links coming into your site, any backlinks coming to your site. The other reason you want to say no to orphaned pages is the indexing issue as well, is that I spoke about, and thirdly is I've kind of lost my train of thought. Oh yes, if you're not linking internally to a page, what does that say to Google about how important that page is? Or if you're not even linking to it from your own site, then that's a key indicator as to Google say, well, if it's not important to you, then it's kind of not important to us either. If you take a look at some of the quotes here from Google, like John Mueller, the context we pick up from internal linking is really important to us. With that kind of anchor text, that text around the links, that's really important to us. It's a bit of a weird, but that's literally a direct quote. And also, Google have also said the number of internal links pointing to a page is a signal to search engines about the relative importance of that page. So, if you don't have any links, how important do you think Google's going to think that page is to you? It helps you establish topical authority. So, linking similar articles together is going to help Google understand you're clustering content together. Having all that content clustered together is going to make it easier for Google to understand that you have some authority on that topic, and therefore give you credit and allow you to rank for those topics. It helps Google index the site, as I already mentioned. That's one way that Google will crawl your site, is to go and follow internal links to find all the available pages. It keeps readers on your site. So of course, if we're running ads or anything, firstly ads, let's cover that. If you get somebody to click onto a second page from another page on your site, then you're getting twice the ad revenue that you were from the first one, because they've actually now visited 2 pages on your site. The other thing is that you can use internal linking to start pushing them down the funnel. You can start pushing them to money pages, either if you have products, digital products, if you have affiliate links, pages with affiliate links. You can use all sorts of internal links. That could be a button, not just a textual link. It could be anything to push people down, further down your site, further towards a point of sale or a money page. Anchors help rank keywords. So when you're using internal links, the anchor text is the text within the link itself. If you make that keyword rich, then Google's going to have a better understanding of what the page is about, and again, help you kind of rank for those keywords and those topics. An internal link can have a similar effect to a backlink. Already mentioned that. You're in control. Overall, internal linking can increase rankings, traffic, and income. So that's a whistle stop. I'll go into much more detail on every single one of those points in the live stream we did a few weeks back. So again, if you want to go and check that out, we cover all of those aspects in a much greater level of detail. So with that said, once we've covered off internal linking now, what is Link Whisper? So Link Whisper is a tool that helps you speed up the process of adding links to your site. So I guess if you're not familiar with Link Whisper, or we're thinking about life before Link Whisper, if you're already using it, you'd have to go to every blog on your site. Well, you'd have to go, okay, well, I need some links to this blog, and then you'd have to go and search your blog in WordPress, go and find pages, click to edit them, find the appropriate place to edit them by scrolling down the page, insert add the link, come out. That's one link you've done. Now you've got to do like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more, however many more you want to do. And wow, does that take some time if you've got a lot of posts to do internal linking for? So it quickly becomes quite a chore. The great thing about Link Whisper is that it allows you to do all of that kind of in one page really quickly, and helps you surface the most appropriate articles for that internal linking, which is something which was always a bit of a pain as well, because you'd have to try and remember what articles are on your site, which ones are going to be most relevant to do internal linking. So it just helps with that whole process. It helps you identify orphan posts on your site. So it will just, there's a report, as I'll show you in a sec, which is orphan posts. You go to that, and then you can kind of do some internal linking on those orphan posts. So it helps you find all those posts that don't have any internal links. Helps you find relevant keywords or posts to link together. We'll cover that in a minute, but essentially, it's exactly what I just said already. Up in the top one, essentially helps you find the most appropriate posts. And there's more. There's loads of stuff that Link Whisper does. Like there's lots of like smaller features, more minor features. For example, it help you find 404s. So if you've got internal links that are 404ing, it can help you track them down, pick them up, and you can kind of either remove that link or go and add it to somewhere else. There's a whole bunch more features. There's another feature that's pretty cool. If you have more than one site in a niche, then you can add those to Link Whisper, and it will also make suggestions for links between the sites as well as just the site you're on. You can also hook up Google Search Console to feed that data in. There's a whole bunch of other stuff, but I'm not going to go into all that. There's quite a lot to cover. If we were trying to cover every feature of Link Whisper, I'm just going to go through the core stuff and just getting your internal linking done, essentially. So in terms of setting up Link Whisper, it's kind of mostly set up. There's quite a lot of settings in Link Whisper, but there's a few things that we do to kind of set it up in the first place in settings, and you can set it up to look for all sorts of different types of pages on your site to do an internal linking for. So by default, it has pages and posts. For the most part, we don't really care about pages. As content publishers, as bloggers, the pages tend to not be that interesting or something that we're going to be worried about ranking or linking to. We're talking about things like a contact page or about us page or just those kind of pages that we're just not interested in. So we tend to go and turn off pages, and we just focus on posts. Just filters out some of the noise that we have in the reports. The second thing is, and there's a good chance that you won't ever want this, but it's worth knowing that if you wanted to set up the internal links before you've published it, you can also get it to check the drafts folder for any posts that you have in draft as well and set up internal links for those. We tend to use that because when one of our services is that you can purchase content from us, and as an add-on to that service for a small fee, we'll do the internal linking so that from the moment that blog is published, it won't be orphaned. It'll have internal links. Once we've got the blog post written and kind of signed off, we kind of send that off to you to go and review. At the same time, we're doing the internal linking, and if you haven't published it yet, we still go ahead and do that internal linking while it's in draft. So we use that. It's just worth knowing that is a setting that's there should you want to use it. So one of the first things you do when you come into Link Whisper, and I will go through this in a demo in a second, but I just want to take it step by step here too, is you run a link scan. So it forces you down that route the first time you install Link Whisper, but you'll want to do that periodically anyway, just to kind of get the updated data. But essentially what a link scan does, it goes and scans the database, the WordPress database, and looks for any pages or posts or whatever you put in the settings to find all the internal links. And then it collates all of that data and then presents you with a number of different reports, depending on what it is that you're trying to achieve. So you need to run a link scan, and you need to do that periodically as well. Once that's done, you get a bunch of options. One of the things here is Orphan posts. So this isn't a link from Adam's site; it's a link from one of my sites. I just got a screenshot from. So currently got 13 Orphan posts sitting there that need to be done. And as I said, there's like the broken link. Well, there's a broken links report. There's a 404 report. So yeah, there's a bunch of different reports there. But generally, we're concerned with the Orphan posts. We want to make sure that we have every article on our site having some internal links. And then this again is my own site, so I've hidden the title on the left-hand side. But normally on the left-hand side, you'd have the blog title. And then you have these 4 columns here. So one is the inbound internal links, one is the outbound internal links, and one is outbound external links. So the inbound internal links is what we want to look at. We want to add some links from other posts on the site to this orphaned post. The outbound internal links just shows you how many links is already linking outbound to other articles on your site. And the outbound external links is what it says in the tin. It's like how many links do you have going out to other sites on the web. So I want to click that button there where my arrow is to go and add some internal linking to that post. So one pretty cool feature that got added, after a little while on Link Whisper, is that you can also only show posts that are in the same category on your site. So if you've got categories set up well on the site, if it's something that you've been pretty strict about, and it's about structuring your site well, which definitely would recommend doing, and it's a great idea to have categories set up in a structured way, then you can get Link Whisper to only show posts in the same category. This will help with content clustering, with topical authority and things like that, because ideally you want to link similar posts together, and therefore we can assume that if they're in the same category, they're going to be similar posts. So we want to try to, as best we can, we want to try and link those posts that are similar together, and therefore checking that box to make sure you're linking from the same category is a good idea. Now, people have different levels of rigidity and strictness about their internal linking, ranging from people who are absolutely dead strict on using the reverse silo technique that Carl Roof kind of came up with the term for that. and where it's, it's very, very deliberate, very, very specific about how you do your internal linking, and you only do it the same way all the time, and there's very strict rules about how you do it. Right through to Spencer, who created Link Whisper, and his view is like he doesn't mind like who links to what. He kind of has less of a belief around kind of needing to cluster and silo content. And the truth is that you get a massive gain from just doing any internal linking, right? Like, so if you're going from nothing to something, at least you're doing something, like, and that's going to get you like a large proportion of the way there. If you really want to go down like some silo route and some clustering route, go ahead, do that, and that's going to give you potentially give you further gains. Us here, we're kind of somewhere in the middle. So we think it's a good idea to cluster content together. It's a good idea to make sure you're linking similar articles together, which are creating virtual silos or virtual topic clusters. But that's kind of as far as it goes. We're not beyond strict in using reverse silos or specific linking techniques, of which there are many. Also, we're not completely wild and just go linking any post to any post. So I'll put there, take a breath. Linking outside your category, outside the cluster is okay. In our view, it's just don't be too liberal with it. Like, do it, that's fine. But if you can, try and link similar posts together. Adam, did you want to say something? I had a feeling you wanted to comment.
No.
Okay. Look like you were ready. Okay, no worries. Okay, so keyword search. So this is a great feature that got added to Link Whisper. So the suggestions that Link Whisper makes are quite sketchy at times. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're fine. Other times they're just completely irrelevant and useless. And it really depends on the post, really depends on the topic. I've not looked at them for ages. And actually just going on Adam's site today and having a look, actually, I don't know if they've been improving the suggestions, or if it's just Adam's site, but actually the suggestions are pretty good. So I might have to like revisit, I think, for others.
Could be on my site because it's very tightly correlated content, right? Could be that potentially.
It is, yeah. I'll have to have a look at it again. But I mean, don't be surprised if you've got a specific niche or a specific article that it just seems the suggestion seems completely irrelevant. And as such, historically, I've kind of just ignored the suggestions for the most part. Have a little scan down them. If there's anything quick wins, like maybe do that. But generally, we'll just kind of ignore it and go straight to the keyword search. And what the keyword search does is it allows you to search all the articles on your site for specific keywords. So if you're wanting to link to an article about a specific topic, then you can go and search for the keywords that are related to that topic to find relevant posts for you to link from, which is what I was just saying about finding, linking relevant posts together. So if I give an example, best fish restaurants in LA, if that was the article that you're writing, then you might want to search your site for fish restaurants to find, other times that you've been speaking about fish restaurants on your site, so that you can kind of have all your fish restaurant articles linked together. Failing that, I mean, we'll come to it in a minute, but sometimes maybe you haven't written about fish restaurants before, but maybe you could then search for restaurants, or maybe if your site is actually more about travel, and the way that you've structured your site and the way that you've structured your clusters is actually more talking about is grouping together and clustering together location-based stuff. And actually, maybe you want to search for LA or Los Angeles and link those kind of stuff together. So it really depends. It's very individual to your site. But it kind of gives you an idea of about what that value that keyword search can give you. So this is where you have to get creative sometimes. So there's no results from my keyword. Like what now? Like what if you do these keyword researches? There's nothing comes up in the suggestions. Nothing comes up in the when you do when you search from keywords. Like what do you do? And you just got to get creative sometimes. So sometimes I said keywords are just not gifted to you on a plate. So I think the first thing I'd say is that one thing you got to think about initially, if you can't find any keywords or any kind of related stuff, is like, okay, so should you be creating more stuff on that topic so you're getting some topical relevance? You have got some articles that you can link together. So I think that's the first thing you should kind of think about. If you're not finding stuff to link to that article, is there a reason why? And there might be valid reasons why, but also, although even if you're doing that a lot, and you're finding that maybe your content is too varied and broad and all over the place, that you're not actually finding the right stuff. And I think the other thing that's worth mentioning is you can't really do this exercise until you have a certain number of articles on your site. If you've got 2 articles on your site, well, what articles are you going to link to each other, and are they relevant? Now you need to get, like, I always try to start around 50 articles. Once I've got 50 articles on the site, then I'll start looking to do internal linking, because then I can start actually find some related content amongst those 50 articles. But when I'm mentioning here, get creative and look for the best fits, and I've already given some examples with the LA and the fish restaurant there. But this is one that could be challenging, right? So I've got a site. It's all about parrots. We're going to talk about foxes in a minute, so this is exactly the same. But it's all about parrots, and it's like and all I write about is like, what parrots can and can't eat. So I write, can parrots eat bananas, right? So what am I going to search for in that case on my parrot site? Well, I can't really search for parrot, because my whole site's about parrot. That's going to just bring up every article. So okay, then maybe I want to search about like bananas. Like, okay, then like, well, if all my articles are about, can parrots eat bananas? Can parrots eat, I don't know, chicken? Can parrots eat sausages? Can parrots eat, apples or whatever? Like, well, then I probably haven't mentioned a banana before. So because I've had a need to in the article about whether they can eat an apple or not. But then you have to kind of start thinking out of the box. You go, okay, well, all right, so maybe I need to look at some more fruit. Like maybe I've mentioned like fruit they can eat, or maybe like, yeah. I mean, I think that's probably the only example. I think that's an example of like where it can become challenging or difficult to kind of work it out. But you have to kind of start taking a step back and peeling off a layer and going, okay, well, what is it like next? And I think the daffodil growing guide is kind of a bit of an easier example to give. So say I'm a gardening site, I'm writing a daffodil growing guide, and I do a search for like daffodil, but I've not written about daffodils before again. Like, this is the first time I've written about daffodils. I haven't got any other articles that are kind of linking, that I can link to. Okay, well then, one thing you can do to take a step back is go, okay, what family of plants does a daffodil exist in? Okay, well, this is where you might need to do some Googling. I don't know what family a daffodil in, and it's a bulb. But what family of plants it's in, I don't know. But so you might need to take this a Googling, Google daffodil, work out what family of plants is, and then search your articles for that plant family. You might have mentioned again previously on another article for a different flower that's in that family, and that provides you that kind of relevance and that connection. It might be that you search bulb, right? So like I just mentioned there, it's a bulb. It's a flower that comes from a bulb. So maybe you'll do some internal linking from another article about flowers, a flower that comes from a bulb, or even more kind of abstract. You might say, well, okay, daffodils, spring flowers. Like, what other flowers are spring flowers? So that I can mention daffodils as being like spring flowers when I kind of do my internal linking. Or even more kind of stepping back, it's a yellow flower. Have I talked about like other plants with yellow flowers? So just obviously you want to get as close as you can. Ideally, you want to find another article where you've written about daffodils, but sometimes you just need to start peeling layers off. But the further you get away, obviously the relevance is becoming less and less at that point. And as a last resort, I've put there, if you really can't find anything, then you can add something to your article, any article on your site that's it's all about flowers and growing anyway, and just add something within the body of the text that says you may also be interested in article X, and it kind of it's just kind of placed within there. It's kind of, you couldn't find any like direct topical relevance or whatever, but at least you've kind of managed to get your internal link and internal link in there. Now, a bit like what I said at the start of this slide, if you're finding you're doing this a lot, there's something wrong. Like, if you find that you just never find anything related, then this is a problem. So use this sparingly. If you find you're doing this a lot, then you just need to ask yourself the question why. So hopefully that kind of provides a little bit of context about how we do it, because it's not, even if you're writing content clusters or writing stuff the right way, sometimes you just can't find that perfect article to link to it. So you do have to be a bit more creative. So on to the demo, then we'll come back to the slides in a little bit. So I'll put this into practice. Okay, so this is Adam's site, all things foxes. So if I head off down here to Link Whisper and go to reports, so this is kind of what it looks like when you first kind of log in. So this is the link scan button. I already ran a link scan today, so I'm not going to run another one. Doesn't take too long. It takes like 10, 20 seconds generally. But I say I've already run one. And then this is the orphan posts here. So it's 50 or 49 posts that are orphaned currently. So Adam, this is a site that Adam's not really that actively working on. He hasn't uploaded from posts for some time. But as we mentioned, Adam has forgotten or hadn't got around to, or couldn't be bothered to. Yeah, hasn't done his internal linking. So if you are like Adam and you haven't done any internal linking, then we have the right service for you. We'll not, if we want to, as part of our service, if you've got a site where you've completely neglected internal linking, or you don't feel you've done it well over time, we'll take all of the page on your site, whether you've got 50 or 1,000, and we'll do the internal linking for you across the entire site. Anyway, going to the orphan posts section here, and this is what I showed just a moment ago. So this is the article. These are this is where you go ahead and kind of add those inbound links. So I'm going to give you an example of like one that's really easy and where suggestions are good. So what do wolves eat? So that's all about foxes, sometimes about wolves as well. Adam's kind of expand. I think
I ran out of things to write about foxes, so wolves were the next closest thing I could think of.
So the site was doing quite well, wasn't it? I think you just wanted to what's the word? To jump on the back of that with additional stuff, yeah. So here we go. We go like what do wolves eat? A complete list. So what do we want to look for here? So we want, ideally is we want to talk about like articles that we want to find. Okay, so start from the beginning here. Our primary keyword really here is what do wolves eat? That's the keyword that we would really like to work with. Now, we're not going to find that in another article. Very unlikely to find that in another article, but we can kind of get around that. So I think I put it in the slide, but I think I forgot to mention it. You can be quite aggressive with internal linking with exact match keywords. You don't want to do that so much with the external links, and you definitely want to be liberal or be careful with that. But with internal linking, you can be a bit more aggressive and having with the exact match anchor text. So what we'll do here is we'll do some exact match, and I'll kind of show you how we go about doing that, but also just see what suggestions that Link Whisper's got with. So talking about what do wolves eat. So there's a little drop down box here as well, which kind of lets you find different it makes basically it's made more than one suggestion per article here. So we could say, okay, well that's a good link here, like wolves, like what do wolves eat? So but we could link what wolves eat. And what it also does, which is a bit funky as well, is that you can actually choose you can actually just click on these to expand what the link will be. It gets a bit weird sometimes when you try and fix it. It seems to be okay. But anyway, so I think like wolves eat is better. Oh, it's got wolves eat up there actually as well. So I'll take it. That's it. What do wolves eat? So no, it's not. Ignore me. There you go. So wolves eat. So we'll check the checkbox there to say that's one a link that we want to add. So if I open up some of these as well. Like another wolves eat there. Okay, so we'll add those two. And then if we want to do some exact match, I kind of tend to look at, okay, what's the most, so this is like, not do what all wolves eat, but like, can you eat a wolf? Which is like slightly different.
I'm sure I do have content on Can You Eat the Wolf, right?
Yeah, that is it. Yeah.
What the wolves taste like, yeah.
Can you eat a wolf? How to prepare and cook. So if I want to go and put some exact match stuff in here, okay, so however humans found them threatening and thought that wolves would kill and eat. So I would also take this up here and then go down to wherever I was going to edit. See also and change the link from here, and so you could do this, so you could have the full article in here, save there, but also where else should we add one? Yeah, so I'll edit this one here. And this one, I might just delete this bit. In what do wolves eat? So there I'm getting some exact match kind of, exact match on our keyword in there as well, even though it's kind of not something that you'd find that I found organically and automatically. So that's one way of like getting the exact match in, as well as just picking some that seem to fit and look good. Once you're done with that, you can just click add links. There you go. Those links have been added. Those articles that we've already added links to have been removed, so you don't add the same ones. This is the checkbox that I was talking about, where you can just make sure you're linking to the same category. Once you click that once, it'll just automatically be on for every one that you go into now. But you just need to kind of apply that for the first time. So if I go back to that, we've now gone down to 48. We've got one less orphan post. Now, what's the other one I was going to look at? This is the one that's a bit more challenging. So, are there wolves in Kentucky? So if I click that, take a look at the suggestions. Now, this is like an example of where you didn't. The suggestions just don't get it right. So, it's are there wolves in Kentucky? And it's got a link for types of wolves, linking to what do wolves eat, and wolves consume berries and other types. Yeah, so like that doesn't really have any relevance to are there wolves in Kentucky. So trying to think outside the box, it's like, okay, well, maybe I want to, actually that normally stays on. I don't know if they've changed that now. It's interesting. It used to stay on. I don't know what's happening there. I won't try and diagnose it now, but so yeah, so okay, well, I think well, maybe it's about like maybe I want to think about like where wolves live. So maybe I want to search this is the keyword search that I've yet to show you yet. So maybe I want to search live. Maybe I've got some articles that say they live here, they live there. Okay. Here you go. These wolves live in rocky areas. That's live. Got live and live the same spelling. On the other hand, wolves don't want anything to do with humans and live well away. So yeah, so what I would do here is look to, again, take this. Get rid of this link here, copy that out. I'll do it all for this one. Save that one. I'll just finish this one off and then we'll kind of flip back because I'm sure you don't want to watch me. It's as laborious as it can be to do it. I'm sure it's more laborious watching someone do it. So this was the one, wasn't it? I always try to make the reference to the link as close to the word that kind of makes sense as possible. That word that kind of makes it topically relevant. So rather than wait to the end of the sentence and then add this in, I always try to make it like close to the word that I've targeted, like live in this case. Let's do, yeah. I live in Kentucky. Yes, wolves would be able to live in England. I think, yeah, we can put it in here. Okay. For now, I'll just have those two because I don't want to bore you silly with me going through those. But essentially, in a nutshell, that's how you go ahead and do. That's the way you go ahead and use Link Whisper for internal linking. That's how we specifically use it. I use it for my own portfolio. It's the way you use it at Niche Website Builders. There are a number of different ways that you can use it into your, doing it your own way, being creative. I'd love to hear other ways that people use it or other tips or that they use, but that's kind of how we go about it. And this is the way that we kind of deliver our service as well.
Mark, you're going to spend the rest of the night doing the rest of the post for me, right?
Absolutely not. Done. Oh. I'm done. But I mean, so yeah, I mean, it's still.
Wait, you promised that if I use my site that it would all be done. What's going on here? I feel like I've been shortchanged.
Well, I know a service that we can go and get it all done. So yeah, so we've launched a service that does this for you. So although Link Whisper likes it, I mean that still feels like quite laborious, right? But it's way better than the old days. We had to kind of drill into each post. So it's Link Whisper is a lifesaver. It's so much better, but it's still tedious to do. So if you it's something that you are not wanting to do on a Sunday morning, then we do have a service for it. As I said before, you can either have it as an add-on to any content orders that you have with us. So if you order some content, we'll make sure for a small extra fee that none of those posts are orphaned once we've uploaded them. So immediately they've already got some internal links to them. Also, we'll do bulk orders. So if we're not writing content for you, but you've got like a whole site that you've neglected internal linking, or you feel you just haven't done a very good job, then we'll charge you. Essentially, we charge you by the post. So depending on how many posts that you have, we can go ahead and do all your internal linking for you. So the pricing that we have on that is $50 per 10,000 words. So for every 10,000 words that you order from us, it's an extra $50 on top to do the internal linking. For the one-off orders, it's works out $5 per page. So if you've got 100 pages on your site you want us to do, that'll be $500. Links are in the description. There's also a link to Link Whisper in the description if you want to go and check it out for yourself. But yeah, links to the service in the description as well. And if it's something you're interested in and you want to talk to somebody further, feel free to send an email to sales@nichewebsite.builders or use the chat in on the website, Niche Website Builders. And actually, if you go to the service page, you'll find a link as well where you can go ahead and straight away book a meeting into the calendar if you wish to do so. That's it. That is using Link Whisper for internal linking.
That's awesome. Quick question from Daniel. When you edit the sentence in Link Whisper, that edits the blog post text?
It does. Yeah. So I should probably have like shown that, but yeah, essentially I won't go back to it. But basically, yeah, that's exactly it. So when I click add links and save it, yeah, I should have made that clear. When you click add links, it's basically adding links, textual links from that post, from the text within that post. So what Link Whisper is doing when it's showing us those snippets, it's just pulling out snippets from that blog post of where it thinks there's relevance or where it's found the keyword in the instance that we're talking about, where we're searching for the keyword. So it'll pull any instance of that keyword out on any blog post, and once you click add links, it goes and adds a textual link to that post linking to the other.
The other good thing about Link Whisper is that even if because it's a yearly subscription for the software, right? If you wanted to do it yourself, if you take off the plugin, if you don't renew it, then those links still stay there. So if you were like selling your site, for example, like those, and you took off Link Whisper because it's your license, those links still stay active even after the plugin's been removed, for example. So it's not like one of those plugins that tie you in and say you have to keep paying this monthly fee or you lose all your internal linking that you've done, which is, I think, a cool feature.
Yeah, it should be the way it is, right? There's at least one other service we know of that you have to keep the subscription up, else all your internal links disappear, which just seems a bit brutal, to be honest. So, Link Whisper, it's good. It's definitely needed as a tool. It's very well known in our space because Spencer created it. And a lot of sites where customers come to us for us to do content, we find that they've already got Link Whisper installed. There's not many, seems to be not many sites that don't have it. Outside of the space, it's kind of not so well known. I know he's got a Shopify version of the Link Whisper now as well. So if you have a Shopify site, you can go and get Link Whisper as well for your Shopify site. So,
but even though lots of the sites we see have it on, lots of them are not doing it like mine. I had it installed, but I'm not actively going through on some of these sites and doing it properly or enough, to be fair.
Yeah.
So just having the software on its own is not going to build you the internal.
Oh no, that's right. Well, actually, there is a feature, but I would avoid it. There's one called auto linking, and it basically every time it finds a keyword from a new post that you published, it'll go and do that link. Now that's a surefire way to have over-optimized anchor text. If you don't keep an eye on it, so I absolutely steer away from that feature. I'm sure there's some instances where it might be good and relevant. So yeah, it literally can do the internal linking for you once you set up the rules. But as soon as you let that take over, it's sort of out of your hands then.
It makes sense.
I wouldn't do that, frankly. Okay, there's another question here from Daniel as well. Is there a good ratio for internal to external links per post? I think you're meaning like, I'm not sure whether you mean outbound or inbound, like external links here. Like, do you mean links coming in, or do you mean how many links that you're linking out? I'm assuming you mean links linking out. No, is the answer. There's no ratio that we consider to be right or good or proper. You don't want to go too wild. I think you want to have a good bunch of internal links, and actually, maybe you want to do more internal links to those pages that you consider to be more important. Yeah, you don't want to go wild and just have way too many and just make it look unnatural. Essentially, those links, the links that you do should be relevant and natural. And if they are, if you've got lots and lots of opportunities to link to an article and it's completely natural and relevant, go ahead and do it. That's fine. And then linking off to other articles, it's the same. So the number of links that you end up having to other posts on the site, it just depends. Don't try to over optimize it, just make it natural. I guess it's the proper answer to that question.
Another question here from Thorsten, which is not to do with internal linking, but I still think a good question. How would you estimate the volume and potential revenue for a niche? So there's a couple of ways. to estimate the volume, you could just look at the competitors. Like if you've got a tool like Ahrefs or SEMrush, look for competitors, look at how much traffic they have, look at the keywords in that space, look at the search volume. Like, is it big? Is it a niche that you could branch out to into sub niches or shoulder niches? You know, is it a sports site that you could cover all the different types of sports, for example? And in terms of revenue, then it depends on kind of what model you go for with affiliate programs. And obviously, you can search for different types of affiliate programs and check how much they pay and how long the cookie duration is and that kind of thing. If it's display ads, it's a little bit more difficult because obviously sites don't. There's no easy way to see in like an RPM or a EMVP for a site, and even two sites in the same niche will earn different RPM rates. However, I have heard, and I'm not sure where they are on the process, that Ezoic are developing, like they've got their ad index where you can go and see the kind of overall ad rate. I've heard they are developing potentially a niche one for each of the niches. You can go and see the average rates within each niche, which will be interesting when that comes out. But really, if you're going down the display route, you want to be looking for sites that have obviously adverts on, sites that are in maybe Mediavine and AdThrive level as well, like bigger sites. Look at the volume. If they're in there, then they're probably making decent money. That's the way I would go about it. Or if you've got anything to add to that, Mark.
I think it's difficult. Yeah, I mean, you can look at the commission rates and stuff, but you don't know what the conversion rates are. You don't know how many. Like it's, it's a bit of a black box. Like you're never really gonna properly know until you've kind of delved into it. But I mean, I think it can help you give you an idea and help you avoid something that's a complete non-starter. But even estimating volumes is difficult because can we trust? Ahrefs and SEMrush are invaluable, but we know that they're not super accurate. But they'll at least give you some indication. But again, you're never really gonna, and every site's different as well.
And even niches can go a bit weird, like the Fox base. You think, what am I going to do in there? There's not a ton. In fact, there's very few websites, at least now, and maybe not now because if we're putting this on a live stream. But there's not a ton of websites that cover just everything to do with foxes. And you think beforehand, is that even a good space? What kind of ad rates would I see in a space where there's no real products to do with foxes or anything, but it still works. So in some cases, even with ones which you think that's never going to work, still end up doing okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look what the EMVP rate. Yeah, so the EPMV rate for the Fox website is about $15-16. So in a niche where you think there's no product, who's advertising in there? It's not massively high, but it's not super low either. To be fair,
not at all. It's decent. I mean, I think it's really useful that Ezoic are going to put out that thing that average EPMV per niche. But again, they're always really totally clever to say, like one site could be wildly different from another site in terms of EPMV, even in the same niche. So that's just another complexity. Like
we spoke to Margaret, didn't we? And we had similar sites in, I guess, a similar-ish niche, and she said her EMVP was really, really low, and mine is over $100 for that one site. Like and you think it would be similar because similar kind of content, similar type of person-ish, I guess, maybe slightly different angle on it, but totally opposites of the rate then.
Yeah, we've talked to Tyler as well about it a little bit, didn't we? And I can't remember what he said, but he did say, I remember speaking about how you could definitely trash your EPMV. I can't remember the reason for that. Like because it's based on sort of historical data and stuff as well on your site. So if you're not careful, you can sort of get your site stuck at a low EPMV.
Go back. It's on one of our live streams, like one with Tyler. Go back and watch it if you're interested in that. I can't remember what he said either, but yeah.
And I guess the other way around, like you've got that really high EPMV on that site. Like maybe you got stuck on a high EPMV.
I'm not moaning.
Something historical. So anyway, right, we've kind of run out of time. That went really quick. So yeah, if you're interested in some merch, go ahead and type something into the chat, and we will type something in the next 2 minutes or so, and then we'll put you in the draw for the search. If you don't type anything in the chat, then you won't be in the draw. That's just the way it works because YouTube only shows us the most recent people that have chatted. So type something in the chat if you're interested in the draw. for some merch.
Cool.
Meantime, about what's the have we got topics for next week and stuff? That's the question.
I assume so.
Yeah.
Because you planned them out.
We did, yeah. Let's have a look. Let's see what we've got coming up.
Thanks, Carly. Yeah, we try and be as transparent as we can, even as far as sharing some sites and things. But yeah, appreciate the comment.
So next week we have got another on the HDomain Tuesday. We have another. We're tearing down another couple of domains. We'll have another guest on, like we did this week with Margaret, which is really interesting actually. If you didn't check it out, Margaret. No, was it Margaret this week?
No, it was the gentleman with the hunting site.
Yes, I forgot. It's the Hunting Life, wasn't it? It was the site.
Yeah.
Really interesting because he's doing some more stuff that a lot of us don't do, and a lot more old school kind of things that are working really well. And it really got me thinking about, I really should be doing more or like different things. And so yeah, if you haven't checked that out on it next week. So I really enjoyed that conversation. So yeah, check that out if you didn't. Kevin, is it Kevin? Or was he? Carly said Kevin. Maybe it's Kevin. Doesn't sound right, but maybe it was. And next week, the same day, same place, the website investing show is setting up custom category pages. Is the topic for next week. And next week on the niche lifestyle show, has Alex put some stuff in? Oh, yes, setting up a website and finding a niche is his topic. Yeah, it's not very lifestyle-y, but it sounds
great for Thornston, who's currently looking for a new niche. Literally saying, I'm looking to start a new niche and if I should spend time in it. So yeah, watch next week's and see what Alex has got to say, see what Doug's got to say, see what we've got to say.
Awesome. Okay. Limited on people today, actually.
Music ready?
We only have very few entrants to the draw.
Oh, no.
So if you've entered, you've got a good chance, I think. Let's see. It's definitely. Yeah. I didn't flash the merch, should I? That's what I need to do. That's what always gets people going. All right, let's do it. Ooh. Music went off too.
Yeah, I have to do that. It's a weird thing. If I leave it on and then you do the transition, when you speak, then it messes your microphone up. So you have to turn it off and then put it back on after the transition. I don't know why that does that.
Weird. Okay, definitely some previous winners in that list.
If it's Carly again, we can't send you another thing, Carly. It's just you'll have a wardrobe full of our stuff.
Oh, it is. It's gonna be close.
It's Brian.
Yeah, Brian.
Congratulations,
Brian. Well done. You probably know you do know the thing. Get in contact with the Niche Website Builders website via the chat or the contact form, and we will send you over some merch.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Good stream. Thanks, Mark. That was great.
Oh, cool. Thanks. I was going to say it was, but then I realized I did all the talking. So, but yeah, no, it's good. It was good. But yeah, thanks. And thanks everybody again for joining. We'll see you next week. We've got 3 more streams and another podcast coming at you next week. So yeah, look forward to have a great weekend in the meantime, and look forward to catching up with you again on Tuesday.